What's up, my name is Kiahonfire, and welcome back to another Conan Exiles video. This is a follow-up on my Northern Purges video. So this is going to show you all the content in the Northern Purges, what it's like, is it worth it, etc. And I'll be showing you some comparisons between the thralls that you can obtain in the actual Purges I showed. So the actual ones that do show and contain people is the Volcanes of Skelos, the Sumerian Berserker, and the Sumerian Clan. So that is the ones we get here. The other ones I showed off were actually Beast Purges, which means you don't really get anything but resources or hides off of them. But for the sake of the video, we'll be doing the ones with the people in it and whatever else, because that's mostly what's important in these kind of purges. And you know what you're going to get if you kill a bunch of wolves. You're just going to get a wolf pelt, right? So it's only fit we start off with the Volcanes of Skelos Purge, and I'm going to show you all the crafters there first, and then we're going to continue on with the actual fighters. So if we go over here and check my first chest right here, you're going to see all the possibilities of crafters that we can actually get out of this purge. So we have a lot of different kind of priests. This is ranging from Dekello priest to Yogg priest to Set priest, so all of that business as well. Then we have a couple of taskmasters. You know that they're not going to really do anything different other than speed things up. The same goes with the tanners here, they're going to speed things up, and the same with the smelters. So I don't really need to show those to you guys, but I will show you the ones that do matter in here that are more unique and ones you actually do want to look out for because they will make a difference for you. So that pretty much should be all of them right there, so let me grab them. We'll start off with the armourers, and I'm going to use the normal armourers bench first to check, and we're going to start off with Master Armourer Sacy. So let's have a look. When you scroll down, usually, yep, there we go. It's going to give us the horned helmet platings for those. That's pretty much what all kind of purge thralls will give you. They will always give you the horned. I think it's kind of silly that they all give the same thing, but I don't know. Let me know what you think on that one. I would like it if they gave something a little bit unique to each one, if you know, right? Even if it was something cosmetic. It would be really cool, you know? But apart from that, what they craft is all of this, and they also do the bearer pack here, which is handy. Bearer pack is very handy to have, so that is a nice one included in there. But apart from that, it's pretty much that and all the flawless, and that doesn't really change between, which is a bit of a shame, but that's something different that one does. And then if we check the Maquila Hide Ripper, you get the same kind of product. You get the horned stuff, and you get the bearer pack as well. So that's pretty much what those armourers will do for you. That is different from anything else. You can only get this on Purge armourers. You can't get it on anything else. Now if we go over to our Fireball Cauldron, we have our Surjara Snakefang. We pop her in there. And as usual, you got the black and white dyes, and then you got the rest of the selection of things that you can make. Oil, spices, the 2 different recipes for tar making, and you got all of your orbs in there and the fill. So that's pretty much what that one does. And Experimenter Cellus will do the same there, so the absolute same. So those 2 will do those things. Now if we walk over to the blacksmiths, if you get a Purge blacksmith, that is really, really good stuff. That is really good news. Because they give you the legendary weapon repair kit, and that is something that is so handy, so useful. So if you do get him, then you are what I consider very lucky, and don't ever lose it. Another thing all kind of Purge blacksmiths give is the flawless Falcata. That is the let me try and find it for you if you don't know what that is. That's pretty much the razor blade knife that you find in Pirate Cove or whatever, you know, with the pirates. You get that kind of thing, and then the inexpensive steel reinforcement. Now, I didn't really explain how inexpensive they were when I was in my last video, if you couldn't tell the difference between the 2. Well, if you look at this here, it gives you steel fire and iron reinforcement. Now, to normally make a steel reinforcement, it's 2 steel bars. But for this one, it will give you the iron reinforcement and steel fire, which means you don't have to use the steel fire to make the steel reinforcement. Now we have a look at our carpenter. Now these give this kind of recipe here, the split wood. So if you give it branches, it will give you wood. So if you have a lot of branches, then you can do that. You get that from Rennis, and you can also get it from Lazy Barkskin as well. It will do the exact same thing for you, which is really nice. Another thing is the stove. You can use Jacis the Culinarian or Beno Bloody Skull. That is quite hard to pronounce, but you get the gist. You get all these different types of recipe. You got iced tea in there. You got mystery meat soup. You got honey glazed roast, honey gruel, honey eggs, honey bread, honey jerky, egg surprise, cooked oyster, and bone broth. And you get the exact same for this one as well. So those two can craft those two different things. And the iced tea could be kind of handy when you're in the heat. So that's kind of a nice thing that they have in addition. And that was pretty much all of our crafting rules explained. I'll quickly show you the priests as well, but you won't really see too much difference when I do pop them in the maximum altar. So here we go, we'll start with the set altar. This is a maxed out set altar. So there's 1 for the Sanctum of Set. There is Vis, the Divine Scales, and Elise, the Medium. If you're to pop them in this kind of thing, they will give you the recipes for the Ritual Set Protection. So that is the Bubble and the True Name of Set. So you can make the Avatar and you can make the Protection. So those two things, there you go. That's what you can do with that. So those are kind of handy. Again, she does the same thing. So there you go. And if we have a look at the Decado one now, you're going to see we have Seer Pillar and Seer Ciso. And you're going to see they do the exact same thing. The Protection and the Avatar. So they can both produce those kind of things out of their inventory. And finally, the Yog Pit with our 2 last ones. Stone the Shaman. So there we go. Does the same thing with the Protection. And is this the Witch? So there you go, these same 2 things. Now let's have a look at our Volteri's fighting crew. We have archers on the left, and we have fighters on the right. Now I have to apologise for this one, because I couldn't actually get Zaris to spawn for some reason in the kit. It just would not spawn, even though I was clicking on the name and all of that business, it just wasn't there. So they are MIA, so for now, I can't really tell you much about them, but you can consider them being very, very similar to what we're looking at with the rest of them, because some of them come from the same origin, which is the same faction of Volteri, so it should roughly come out the same as the other ones. But we'll have a look at our archers first, starting off with Alda of the Gloom. Having a look at her stats, you can see, usually with Volteri's Askelos faction, they have a really nice spread. So you can see they have 15 in strength, they have 3 in agility, they have just spread out really nicely, and when you level them up as well, they also proportion themselves out really nice as well. With that, survival as well is really handy against poison, so you have that as a factor. And the strength and vit will also balance out really nice. So they're really nice proportion rules. And you're going to see they kind of come out roughly the same because of their faction. Just with the roles quite different. And this usually goes for the same on all kind of Conan rules. They will come out a certain way due to their faction. So you can see they all have the base, and then it just depends how they grow and how they roll into the different perks. Which means certain factions are better than other factions in certain different departments. But I always like these guys. These guys are very tough and mighty. The Volteris, they definitely show a lot of hardiness and good spread. You can see here we have a lot of over 10Ks. May I remind you with this, the Thrall nerf is coming in very soon. So the stats you see here might be slightly varied to what you're going to get then. But it still will be roughly the same. They will still be very, very good. They will just be a little bit less healthier and a little less damage. But because they decrease the world bosses in their HP, you won't really notice any difference really there unless you're in PvP, and that's where you're going to notice the difference against other players. But I think that's fair does on that kind of department anyway. But you see we're on our fighters now, and you can see they are rolling pretty well. This one actually rolled pretty nice with a bit bonus here that I'm quite happy with. Let's have a look at one of our last ones here. I am very sorry about the wrist, but I'll have to have a look into that, maybe have a look on the forums as well, see why it's not spawning, because it's very peculiar. But they should come out as a very strong set of thralls either way. If you get one of the archers, they will pretty much be the same as the rest, so you don't have to get like a particular one, if you get me. So if you got a Nether, it's pretty much going to roll the same exactly as all the other ones. So just look out for one of the names that you see here, and you should be pretty well set if you do end up getting a Volcanes Purge. I always like getting S Flicker Tongue. She was my first Volcanes, and she hits like an absolute truck. So it is absolutely awesome, this one. But again, it's going to be the same as the other ones here anyway. But, you know, she's good. She's good. But anyway, let's move on to our next purge here. We have the Beast Tamers Purge. So the Sumerian Beast Tamers. This is a purge I really, really like. It provides a lot of thralls, indeed. So a lot of fighters, you can see here. Loads and loads and loads. Then a couple of bearers and a couple of archers as well. This one is very, very common. So very, very common. And then they also have their own crafters as well, and we will start there. So again, like last time, I'm going to pick up the ones that have a slight difference, but you're not really going to see too much difference from the Volcanes one that I showed you. Because, you know, purge thralls are the same, which is sad to say, but it is the truth. So, there you go. So we'll start with Wine Thick Skin. You can see here, as like before, you get the horned helmet stuff there, and then you get the bearer pack as well. You're going to get the same with Finnabar of Samaria as well. You're going to get the bearer pack and the horny helmet as well. So there you go. And now if we move on to our Fireball Cauldron, to double check these. Brewer Mavel, all their nice white dyes, black dyes, different recipes in there. And then we have Morn Dye Master, the exact same kind of things. But again, if you get one of these anyway, you know, consider it lucky. It's a nice thing to have. Not gonna lie, especially if it's one of these main ones that craft the legendary repair kits or the cheaper reinforcements. So you got that with Vankel, the Bringer of Suffering, and Master Blacksmith Ulfric. You're gonna get the same lingo in there. That's gonna do the same thing for you. So keep an eye out for those names. And then we have again the same with the Carpenters. They're gonna give you that split wood blueprint in there, and the same with Anna as well. So that is Anna and Alfrea. So there we go, and then we have the improved stove. You got Taster Pernadun. I don't know how you say that. I guess it's you know. Then you have Jacona that also does the same thing. So there you go on that one. And then we have two Ymir priests as well to have a look at as well. So I'll pop down my Ymir temple. We'll put in Drem the Occultist. You can see this one makes Berserker Draft, and it makes the protection and the true name of Ymir. So it's not only the lady in the New Asgard that can make this drow. And there's also this one, Augur Dwayne, hopefully that is right, that can also make you the Berserker Draft. So there you go. That stuff is actually really nice to make as well. The Rage Potion is quite exciting to have a bit of fun with. All you need is some Crimson Lotus, a Heart of a Nordheimer, and some Alchemic Base. So as long as you're killing kind of T4s in the Nordheim, or you find their hearts in a chest, that's how you get that kind of resource to make these stuff. So you have to be crazy like a berserker, which is very, very fitting. Now let's have a look at our specials here, our little thrall. We'll start off with Marcos, that I'm pretty sure you can find in the world in general. You're going to see with the Forgotten Tribe, you've got the Vit, and the Strength is mainly focused in quite a lot actually. So if you like really healthy, strong thrall, then this is a really good place to go. It's why Delincia or Deslina is a very popular choice. And the Bearer, one you might be interested in looking in. They have a very nice weight pool. They actually have Vit and survival bonuses, not really strength. So they're not really gonna be good for fighting anymore. They used to be amazing at fighting and carrying all your things. But they will stay very healthy, and sometimes you can get a bit of a roll for some strength in there as well, which is always a nice thing. You're going to see if I open the inventory, you've got a lot of slots in there, which is quite nice anyway. So, and I'm pretty sure you can nick his bearer's backpack, and he keeps all his slots as well, and use that to get rid of some encumbrance on you. Now let's have a look at our beast tamers. So They actually have their own category, which I thought was really cool, and you have a bunch here. So we'll start off with Frida. Here we go. You're going to see the trend of, again, the Forgotten Tribe faction on the Vit and Strength rolls. But you can see with this one, they have a very high base health anyway. So if you do want one before the nerf, if you want one with really good HP and damage still, it's really good to actually look for a Beast Tamer because they will still uphold a really good amount of health and damage after nerf. Especially health, you can see here already it's crazy. So I imagine when they properly get the nerf there, they'll probably be nerfed on a level 20 back down to 10k or 11k. And that's still pretty darn good, not gonna lie. So that's kind of what I think that will happen, or predict will happen. They're still going to be one of the better choices when it comes to HP when you're looking at things after the nerf. Because you get a lot of factions that have lower HP, and sometimes you want more health to keep them alive or whatever, or more strength. This was a nice balance here. And we're getting through them as well. I heard a lot of you talking about Cormag Beastblood as well recently. That's a really good throw as well. You can see it rolls really good as well. It's a nice one to have, I must admit. And let's have a look at our last one, the Lesteret, the Unsung Hero. Again, you can see they have that insane base HP there, and this one hasn't really rolled very good in the health department, but you can still see it's doing pretty well. But yeah, it had a -5 on the Vit, that's why it got tanked so badly. But it's still very, very good for all. You can see it's got a nice roll in a lot of departments. But apart from that, that's pretty much all the actual Beast Tamer thralls. A very nice faction of things to have if you do get one of these fighters. Remember, like what I said, they pretty much are the same, no matter which one you get. So if you get a Cormag, it's going to pretty much be the same as the Verret. And if you get a Verret, it's going to pretty much be the same as Frida. You just have to get or hope for a good perk roll and a good attribute roll. And remember, if you want to attribute to the attributes, you need to use foods to actually balance where their points go into or help. So you remember the feasts and stuff you give them. I have a video about that you can also look up. I might link that if I remember to in the description down below, and you can see what feasts will help level different points into where. But it's not a 100% thing, it will help you level into that point. So say you're already happy with the HP on these guys, you don't really want it to roll any more in HP, you feed them a food that's going to give them bonus damage. So that's kind of what the idea is, and hopefully that explains it for you that don't really know about it. But that's pretty much all we have there. That's all of my boxes and bits and pieces, and that is the Northern Purges Explained. If you have any more kind of comments or questions, make sure to leave them down in the comments down below. I will try my best to sift through them and answer anything. You know what I'm like. And if I didn't answer your question or haven't got round to it, I will try and get round to it as much as possible. But, you know, if I don't get round to it, it's been a couple of weeks, you can always ask again. And if you need any more help on guides, remember I'm doing a Purge series. If you didn't see the last one, I have a Highlands one that explains the Highland Purges and shows what Highland Purges are there and available if you go and live in that kind of sector. So this is the second one out of the series. The Highland one is the first. And you'll get to see very soon what the next one is about. But anyway, thank you for watching. I love you all, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye!